Hey everyone, welcome back for a little TLC where we talk about the truth about life in Christ. Let me start off by saying Happy New Year. I hope you all had a wonderful New Year's Eve and that the beginning of your year has been a pleasant one. I spent my New Year's Eve in quarantine because if you cannot tell by the title of my video, I tested positive for COVID last week. And so for this video, I want to talk about the 4 things that are getting me through quarantine and my COVID-19 experience. I think I have to be very strategic about how I say some of these things because there's been a lot of censorship, but either way, I'm going to talk today about my experience with COVID and how I'm making it through. Let's get into it. Okay, so I will start off by saying that this is not medical advice. I am not a doctor, I'm not a physician, and so everything that I'm going to be saying is going to be specific to me, some things that have worked well for me over this past week, and you can take it or leave it. Please consult your medical providers for any advice that they might have, and always make the best medical decisions that are best for you. So thing number 1 that has been keeping me during this experience is prayer. I'm a Christian, I'm a prayer warrior, so of course I'm going to start off with prayer and my request that I have made to God. Since the pandemic started, I have frequently interceded on my behalf and on behalf of my family and others that God protect us from COVID, and God did just that for nearly 2 years, and one of my prayers was also that if we did get COVID, if I got COVID or someone I love did get COVID, that we would not experience the most terrible symptoms and that we would be able to make it through all right. And I can honestly say that that has been totally the case for myself and also for my family members who have gotten COVID. And so I am so thankful to God for answering my prayers and for keeping me and my family members throughout this time, not just when we might have tested positive for COVID, but for keeping us for nearly 2 years from what people were saying was inevitable and was going to be super, super horrible. And so prayer is the number 1 thing that I recommend because it's been keeping me, and I know that it will continue to keep me even once I don't even know if I can say fully recovered. I haven't had a terrible bout of COVID, so I'm feeling pretty good, but even once I'm, I guess, 100% and I don't test positive again. So that's number 1, prayer. Number 2 is diet and exercise. I believe in prayer, but I also know that faith without works is dead. I talk about it all the time, how we should be concerned about what we put into our bodies and how we are moving our bodies. So before I tested positive for COVID, I was a generally healthy person. I follow a mainly plant-based whole foods diet. I exercise very frequently, and so I think that diet and exercise are important to our immune system being as strong as it can possibly be, and our bodies being in its best position to be able to fight off any disease that we might come in contact with. And I will say that I think the last week I was the most susceptible to getting COVID because I took a little break from my typical diet and exercise routine, and I was going through some other things medically. So I just recommend staying on a diet and exercise routine and keeping that thing together. So like I said, I follow a mainly whole foods plant-based diet. I exercise almost every day. I like to drink what I call a hot tonic every day, which includes some ginger and lemon. It's like a ginger and lemon tea that I make. Yeah, even when I had my worst night of my COVID symptoms, it kind of felt like I had the flu. And I had like a fever, but I made sure that even though I couldn't work out as much as I wanted to, that I would at least get up and like walk in place and do some shoulder rolls or something so that I wasn't completely stagnant when it came to exercise. And then I think about the second or third day, I was like back to doing just some like gentle walking in my room. And I would like to shout out Grow with Joe, because that's a really great workout channel on YouTube. And also I think her name is Leslie Sansoni, for a walk at home routine if that's your jam. So number 2 is definitely diet and exercise. Make sure y'all are consistent with that. I believe that that's one of the things that have been crucial for my immune system being the way that it has been and keeping me all this time. Number 3, it's okay, I've stopped talking now. What's up?
Oh, you done that?
No, but I mean,
I'll come back.
Okay. Okay. Where was I at? Okay, number 3. Most people who know me, I've talked about it on previous videos, know that I'm all about like air purification, essential oils, and things of that nature. So I made sure that I had my air purifier going in my room, since I was supposed to be in here the whole time anyway. And I also have my favorite essential oils and some candles going, and they have some things like eucalyptus in them, tea tree oil, some peppermint and things like that, and they really just like cleanse the air and are great for just making sure you can like actually breathe. You can breathe. It does really good for the respiratory system. And so number 3 is air purification and some essential oils. And also I did sneak outside to get some fresh air a couple of times during my quarantine period. And if I couldn't go outside and like actually get some fresh air and like let the sun touch my face, and I would at least roll up my windows, because I just don't think we're supposed to be cooped up in the house. But that's just me. So try to do something for some air purification. Roll up a window. If you're not in quarantine, then try to like walk outside for at least a little bit. Let the sun hit your face, get some natural vitamin D, and yeah, breathe in some fresh air. So number 3 is air purification or something with essential oils, so that you know you have some good vibes and good smells going about your room and your space in general. And number 4, the 4th thing that's been keeping me together, is connections with my family and friends. I have never FaceTimed so much in my entire life, or texted so much in my entire life. Yeah, so I haven't felt completely disconnected. 2 of my family members did have COVID at the same time as me, so we kind of were like struggling together when it came to our quarantine period. But I had to FaceTime like my fiance, I had to FaceTime my other family members who weren't in quarantine. And yeah, that's been really good for my emotional state. Even though I had to miss some things like watch night, I was tuned in on the virtual service and was trying to be engaged that way. So just trying to maintain my social connections and stay as involved as I could with my things that I love to do, which is church attendance and church involvement, was really important for me during this time. So those are the 4 things. Number 1, prayer. Number 2, diet and exercise. Number 3, air purification and having something with essential oils. And number 4, FaceTiming and maintaining my social connections. Those are the 4 things. Now you will notice that I did not mention anything about the shot or whatever we've been prompted to take. Most people who know me know that I haven't taken it. I do have family members who have, and I think that that's your own medical decision. And if that's what you decide to do, then I encourage you to still consider the things that I've talked about in this video, which are prayer, diet and exercise, air purification, and maintaining your social connections as best you can, because there's no point in us getting any type of medicine if we don't address the root cause, which sometimes is our overall unhealthy lifestyle. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I did test positive for COVID-19, but I'm doing very, very well, and I really do think it's because of the 4 things that I have mentioned in this video. I would love to know what you all think about this. I hope that you all have a very safe and a prosperous year, and I will see you next time for a little TLC. Bye-bye.